In the biking world, technology and new ideas are always coming to life, and that is just purely happens through experimenting. Now, the mullet setup has become very popular. That is where you run a smaller rear wheel to the front one. And I think that 10 years ago, if you would have come out with on a bike with two different wheel sizes, you'd have been laughed at. However, these days, it's super popular. I'm running it on this e-bike and I absolutely love it. It feels really good. But today, I want to run an experiment of my own, and we're going to be trying out the reverse mullet. What would make perfect sense would be to just switch the wheels around, so you'd have a 29 on the rear and a 27.5 on the front, but I don't have wheels that will do that, so we're going to over exaggerate this experiment. Right here in my hands we have the 100mm forks off my jump bike and a 26-inch front wheel, and what is in this is 160mm forks with a 29-inch front wheel. So we're going to be dropping the height, the front of the bike by a lot. Now that might sound crazy, but like I said a moment ago, at one point running two different wheels would be crazy, and hopefully with this experiment we might be on something today. Do I really think we're on something today? Probably not. The idea sounds ludicrous, but you never know. I'm sure there will be a few areas of riding that this ridiculously low front end is actually going to benefit. Here we go. This actually doesn't look as bad as I thought. I'm well happy with that. I think it's going to be interesting to ride. Standing over it now, we're only in the workshop, but it actually doesn't feel that bad, which is really odd because we've dropped so much front height. I'm sure there will be some benefits to running a smaller front wheel, and we're going to leave the garage now, go out and give this beast a test in all disciplines of riding. This vessel is ready for its maiden voyage. It's about to leave port. I mean, I think it looks hilarious, but make of it what you think. Don't judge a book by its cover. The thing that would have been affected the most is the balance of the bike, so we're going to test it first of all with a wheelie and a stoppie. You actually don't really notice it, like you have to lift it up a little bit harder because obviously my body weight is thrown forwards, and that's either going to make stoppies unbelievable or scary. Now luckily there's a perfect bank behind us, so I'm going to get up there and see how it performs on the front wheel. Oh my god, you don't do anything. You just push your eyebrows forward and that makes you go on the front wheel. Stoppie's going to be scary. I'm going to go slow. Oh my god, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is a stoppie machine. I think with it being, the body position being so far forward, the smallest bit of movement, you're already there. So the smallest movement really helps you to stay balanced. I'm gonna go a bit faster now, see if I can clear the whole hill. I can't believe how good that was. Whoa. That is incredible. Like, e-bikes are good at stoppies anyway, but this takes it to another level. So although this looks ridiculous, 100% already, we haven't lost anything with doing a wheelie, and we've gained so much with stoppies. Let's try a fakie. Here we go then, backwards mode engaged. Oh, it's really good. So far so good. 3 tests, and I would say it's passed all of them with flying colours. The thing I'm not so sure about is that I've still got about 200 psi in the forks and 80 in the tyres. So obviously for a mountain bike where the back is quite soft, it's quite an imbalance. And there's a stair set over there, not a very big one, but it's big steps, if that makes sense. So it's a perfect place to get the slow motion lens out and test the suspension. That was horrendous. So we've come across the first problem with the reverse mullet, and actually you can see it here. So the reason that you would normally run a mullet is when you're descending with a bigger front wheel, you're able to roll over and attack things harder, and then it pulls the back wheel through. Whereas obviously with this set up, my weight is really far forward, and you can see this small 26-inch wheel is getting stuck in the hole, which wouldn't happen with the bigger wheel. So that was sketchy. These stairs aren't even that steep, and that was horrific. So I think we need to move on. That's the first strike against this bike. We've made our way to the local trails to test this beast out on some single track and hit a few jumps. My God. Okay, so I can't believe that. I'm having some real mixed feelings about this reverse mullet. The only way that I can describe it on a trail is imagine running down a hill with a full wheelbarrow. No suspension, bumpy. If you imagine where the grips are on a wheelbarrow, or the bars, they're like that. You're forward and it's pulling you down. That is exactly what it feels like on this. There's no stability, no front wheel grip. It makes you land heavy on the front end, like that big bottom out on the step down. And it just feels horrendous at high speed. A positive, it doesn't actually jump too bad. Like takeoff, it feels quite good. Just, yeah, grip, and for downhill, I don't really see it catching on. The next thing we're going to test it on is some steep technical descents, which I've been putting off because obviously I'm going to be so far forward and leaning right over the bars, which is going to be terrifying. This line that I'm stood on is one that I call the steep stopper. It is so technical. As you can see, it's absolutely vertical, it's loose, and you have to stop on this ledge before hooking it right into that tight corner down there. There's no better way to test this bike out in steep descent with braking control than on this line, and that is what we're about to do. Oh, this is scary. Already, it feels like I'm so far over the front, I'm not even on the worst bit of the slope yet. Oh my God. Can you see the position that's putting me in? It's insane. Like the mullet normally with a bigger front wheel obviously lifts you, so it makes everything a bit more pleasant. This is doing the complete opposite. Oh my God, I'm scared. Having major front end grip issues, and I think part of that could be to do with the 80 psi jump bike pressures that I'm running in these tyres. There's loads in there, be careful, it might blow you away. See if these adjustments, the pressures, make the Oppo mullet more favourable on this. Okay, we've got our first big cross in the experiment, and it's that line. It's impossible. It just puts your weight way too far forward. If I pull the brake any harder to stop, then I'm going over. If I lean back any more and pull the brake harder, I'm weighting the front wheel too much, which is going to make it skid. Either way, I can't stop on there. Next thing is the climb, and I think it might pull a point back. I'm stood on a really steep, loose climb, which is pretty difficult, but I think that this is actually going to make it a bit easier, because with the lower front wheel, I'm going to be able to keep my weight more over the front, meaning there's going to be less wheelie. Got to be a bit careful of wheel spin, But the biggest problem climbing it on the e-bike is wheelie, so this should play into my hands. Oh, almost first go. Wow, it puts your body in such a good position for climbing. I reckon this try. First attempt went well. I thought, oh, I'm in here, this would be easy, I'll fly up there. The body position's good on the bike, but obviously with the lower forks and front wheel, it's lowered the whole ride height of the bike, meaning the pedals hit absolutely everything. So as you're pedaling up, the pedals keep whacking the roots and the banks, sending you in all different directions. We're now going to move on from here. Before we do, I want to hit a fast, steep line, because that slow one didn't really work, so we need to do something at speed. Back to the urban environment, it's time to get trials using these blocks. Right, this move here is called a Zap Tap, so let's see how the reverse mullet deals with zapping, the zapping tin tapping thing. Easy. I think it likes it. Right, I need to get over here. Fail. That's so close to the hedge. Right, the line carries on though. We'll do a spin here. Straight back in with another Zap Tap. Oh my god, I think that engine placed it. It's so difficult up here with these because, I don't know, it just makes it tricky, doesn't it? I think I've got one more line for this video. We're going to go over there for a special move. What an experiment this has been today. I've had a lot of fun trying this out. I don't know if it'll catch on or if we see it on trails at any time soon, because it did feel pretty rough to ride for the main part. The only thing that was a real positive was for stoppies, but who knows? I mean, 10 years ago I wouldn't have said that mullets would have existed. So if we do see it on the trail, you saw it here first, people. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, leave your comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a